Yo, what's going on? Next up, we got Honest Game trailers for Resident Evil Village. Now, the reason I am watching this is because Resident Evil Village is probably top. It's definitely top 10. Top 10 of my favorite games of all times. I would say. I don't know if it's top 5. I'll say top 7. Definitely top 7 favorite games of all time. It was one of the few games that when I played it and gave it a rating, I did give it a 10 out of 10. Because it really was just an experience, bro. When I bought it, my expectations were like literally on the floor. Like I didn't have anything that I wanted to see, nothing that I was expecting. I just wanted to play the game, and when I did, I was blown the fuck away at how good it was. So let's see what these guys had to say about it.
This video is brought to you by Facebook Gaming. We're building the world's gaming community. Join us and help shape a creator-first gaming platform where you can build your own community around the games you love to stream.
On Facebook.
When the horrors of reality have got you down, a long-beloved series will return once again.
I can't wait for
the
Resident
zombie
Evil 9.
shooting you crave, as well as a new direction for the Biohazard games. A 9-foot vampire mommy for the internet to get irrationally horny over. Bibbs.
Hoping they bring
Resident
back
Evil
my boy Leon.
8-ish. Return to the tragic story of Ethan Winters, a man so stupid that he's impervious to pain. Pushed to his absolute limit when the wife he spent the entire last game trying to save is lit up like a Christmas tree in the opening 5 minutes. His giant baby is stolen and dumped in a comically shabby European village filled with campy traditional monsters. 'Cause of science, of course. And forced to fight for his life while they all take turns doing various body horrors to his hands. Until he gathers the military
His hands
arsenal of
were
a small
fucked
country
the entire
and blows
game,
them
bro.
all into tiny pieces. In another Resident Evil game that reveals the inherent tension between making a scary game and giving you a rocket launcher. Meet the wide variety of evils infesting this tiny Transylvanian hamlet,
Ugly
starting
nigga,
with
bro.
the elephant-sized lady in the room, who Capcom hit a fetish bingo with by making a giant mean goth with an insane dumper.
What
Then
the hell,
capitalize on the
bro?
internet's fierce desire to be stepped on by her by making her seem like the main antagonist when she's basically just the first boss.
Dead
Instead,
ass,
you'll
bro.
spend the
That
rest
was
of the
good.
game capping werewolves,
a
undead,
good
gargoyles,
misleading.
and the Borg, fighting some decidedly
Elements.
less sexy big bads, for most people anyway. And of course, mowing down livestock like you're having a troubled childhood. Also, if you didn't know the hot vampire lady was going to turn into a hulking monstrosity at some point, you've literally never played a Resident Evil. Blast your way through the game's action-heavy combat, where the ammo conservation of the early games has long been replaced by a system where you are constantly unloading full clips to drop regular enemies, picking up ammo everywhere like you're playing Doom, and piecing it together out of scraps like a hobo MacGyver. To keep up with the shuffling hordes of enemies, the game likes to have pop out of nowhere, as you miss 4 out of 5 bullets
I ran
because everything
past
sways
all
around
of those
like you're in
niggas
theater
that
dance
were in
troupe.
that cave, bro.
Not that it's actually very hard or anything, because even on standard difficulty, Ethan has the endurance of the f***ing juggernaut, the ability to block weapons with his wrists, and the plot armor to withstand an insane amount of stabs to the chest, all of which
Block
is
with your
surprisingly
wrists.
explained by the story at some point, which is not the same thing as making sense, a thing that Resident Evil has literally never done. And no, I'm not talking about eating delicious pork dishes that seems to make you more impervious to shivs. That makes total sense.
Here it is. Please, join me.
Experience the simple trick of Village, where Capcom pulls out its highest caliber set dressing, characters, and graphics to disguise the fact that you're basically walking down a hallway for most of the game, occasionally being set free in an area to solve a couple of simple puzzles at your own pace, backtrack to grab some hidden stuff, use the new crank you got on all the big spots labeled crank that you passed earlier, and play one of those little rollerball games.
I fucking
for
hated
some
that
reason.
shit. I liked all of them
to
except
fill
the last
enigmatic
one.
fancy
The
boy's
last one
coffers,
I
so
did
he'll
was
make your
hard as
gun
hell.
shoot 2% better. Then watch as the game explains basically everything else, except for this guy and what his entire deal is.
What are you buying? Just something an old friend of mine used to say.
Lazy plot hole, mystery for a later game, or new Street Fighter skin. This is Capcom we're talking about, so there's like absolutely no way to know. So
What the hell?
load with the remnants of your hand and cover your body in healing goo for a competent shooter with a fun and unique setting. That's also a pretty good horror as long as you don't mind that it's not actually very scary. Except for the part of the mansion. No
That
spoilers,
shit fucked
just
me
spoilers.
up, bro.
And by spoilers, I mean that I shat myself.
Literally, the game was not scary at all
Holy
until that part,
Joey.
bro. I just can't do the
Anime
dark
mom hair.
in these first-person games.
HGH Chris Redfield. Augustus Gloop. Manic Bugsy Nightmare Girls. Dummy Lust. Child's Play. Blinky. Keanu Reeves as Magneto. And
Dead
Dahlia
ass. I
Gillespie.
literally said that. bro.
Resident
Fucking
Evil.
Magneto.
Monster Mash. You know, having mercenaries back is great and all, but when is Capcom bringing back tofu? Think of how delicious the hand-biting scene would be. Beefy. Have you already finished reseducing every character in Mass Effect Legendary Edition?
What the
Fall
fuck?
down the rabbit hole in our newest series to learn why on earth.
I will say though, I do like the way that they did it with the bosses, like the way they misled us. Like I really did think that Lady D was gonna be the main antagonist, and then she was just the first boss. But I also like the way that it was set up, where each boss had their own area. That like you had to unlock the gate first, and then go up, pull up to the mansion, and then that's where you faced the doll. And then you go to that other area where Moreau was at. And then Heisenberg has his own area, and then they reveal that Miranda's the main villain. I enjoy that, and that's kind of what I was expecting with Dying Light 2. I thought that they just showed us Waltz, and then we were gonna later reveal that somebody else was the main villain, but he did not. So yeah, I hope that in the future more games do that. They introduce us to one villain and then they make it like, no, you got bamboozled. This is actually the main problem that we're trying to deal with. But yeah, like I said, I love the game. 10 out of 10 for me. Let me know what y'all thought of Resident Evil Village. If you enjoyed my reaction, feel free to hit the like button, subscribe, and share. And I will see you all in the next one.